Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I've got a really cool video for you. It's kind of a long one as well, but I had the absolute pleasure of sitting down and chatting to JOAN from the TV game show 99 to Beat. Spoiler alert, he was a finalist on the show and oh my goodness, he did so well. And I was chatting to him all about his time on the show and his life as an autistic person. So it's a really great interview. Stick around to hear that and see that. And if you enjoy it, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. And let's get on with the interview.
Oh,
Hi,
hi, nice
it's
to
so
meet you.
nice to meet you.
Oh, good to see you.
So I've just written a few questions that I thought I'd
Okay,
ask if that's cool with you.
that's fine.
Do you want to just start by introducing yourself?
My name is Joe. It's Joan, but I come. It's a male name where I come from. I come from Spain, to a little region that is Catalonia. We have our own language, and uh, my name is Joan. But obviously, here in the UK, it's a woman's name. That's why I always say people call me Joe. But by my original name is Joan, and that's how you pronounce. But as I say, I was born in Spain a while ago, and I did study nursing, and I came to the UK in year 2000, and I've been working in the NHS ever since, and that's me. And maybe people are familiar with my face is because I've just appeared to on ITV on one of the Saturday night shows, 99 to beat, and I nearly won a flipping cone. I couldn't do it, but anyhow,
But you
I
have since resurrected that, haven't you? I saw on your Instagram you posted a video.
yes, for the last 10 months, every time I saw a cone, I had some PTSD about the cone. But finally, I decided to confront my fears, and I went with my partner, and I spent a few minutes, and I did manage. But then I realized why I was not able to do it. It's because I was doing a double flip instead of a single flip. But anyway, I
Well,
like to
you
make
know for
things
next
complicated.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So, you just mentioned you were just on the TV show 99 to Beat, which
yeah.
I absolutely love the show. It's just so silly and random, but actually, I'm sure it was a lot harder than it actually looked. Do you want to talk a bit about your experience on the show?
Yeah, as I say, I was a nurse. Well, I'm a nurse, and during COVID, I was redeployed to work in intensive care, and that also changed my life because I realized that I don't know how long I have left in this world, and I wanted then to, when I finish working in ICU, I decided to bring forward my bucket list. Everybody have a bucket list, the things they want to do when they're retired. And I said, well, I don't want to wait till I retire. I want to do things now. And on my bucket list is travel the world, run a marathon, have a Guinness World Record, and one of them was to be on a television program.
Wow.
And then I apply for various television programs. I apply for Deal or No Deal. I never got through. I applied for The Wheel. I did manage to go to the next stage, but I wasn't selected. I even applied for The Survivors.
Oh, I love
I
that
went to the
show.
next stage, but I wasn't selected. And then I applied for 99 to beat. Um, and it was, uh, you know, when I applied, I didn't know what to expect, but they phoned me when I was in the Lake District, and I had a conversation with the producer, Georgia, who was very nice, and he talk about me and my strengths and everything, and then they told me, yeah, we like to have you on the next stage. Then I went to the next stage. The next stage was a Zoom meeting, like I'm having that with
Yeah.
you, and to see if the camera and everything. And then got I got to the next stage. They sent me, well, I like to put you forward to the ITV to be one of the 100, but I'll let you know. But then went by, a couple of months went by, and it was by beginning of July. I messaged Georgia and say, look, they say yes or they say no, and I say, well, we're still having a few problems, but uh, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, you've been selected. I'll let you know when. Um, Another 2 weeks passed, and then on a Monday, I received a phone call from Georgia saying, "You've been clear, everything is fine. You need to pack your bags and come here on a Saturday." As you probably know, sudden change can throw myself out of that. But over the years, I learned a lot of techniques and everything, and then I use visualization, and normally I like to do a lot of research to know where I'm going and everything. That I also have an autism coach. Um, this We then go into situation what will happen, and basically I just packed my bag, and I went to put the train, and I ended up in Reading on a Saturday night, and I was picked by a taxi, and they put me on a coach with 15 or 20 other contestants. But as you know, one of my big obstacles for me is a small talk and be sociable, especially with people that I don't know who they are and everything.
Well,
And
especially with 99 people you don't know.
yeah, with 99 people. I mean, on that day, a lot of people went to the bar and everything, and I just went to my hotel. They put us in a fantastic hotel, the Hilton Hotel, and and they give us a brief and say you need to be 7:30 tomorrow at downstairs, and we'll take you to that. Um, for me, that was the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is the following day when I went down, and there was 100 people, as you can see, a lot of them quite loud, a lot of unique personalities, and they put it in a common room, and I just I, I had one goal for the first day, is not to have a sensory overload meltdown. And that's what I went for that reason. I did visualize, and I went to a chair, and I just look at people. I observe people. I put my headphones with my music, to my relaxing music and everything, and I was trying to save all my energy to go to the games
Yeah.
and come back to the games. That for me, for not for that's the biggest challenge for me, is in the first few days.
And were
Yeah,
they quite
and
understanding and accommodating
yeah,
for that?
um, I disclosed that I was autistic and everything, and the head producer, who's called Tom, came to me on Saturday night. I say, if you need anything, if any rule adjustment that you need and everything, let me know. He told me my brother is autistic, and I have experience about it and everything. I mean, I had Tom. That it was my point of contact if I needed something, and they were very good. The producers always asked me if I was okay, if I needed something, and we were very well treated, and everything. And then the first day, when you go into the studio, it's very, very dark, and they put it on a circle, and to be honest, that was okay. Then I started doing my breathing exercise and everything. But if you see the first 2 or 3 episodes, I barely appear on the program because I didn't interact with anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I was then I should do the game. I was never the first. I was never the last. And but then I went through. But I was very lucky that next to me, next on my right was Clinton, and on my left was Danny B, and then there was Charlie and me and everything. Danny B was amazing. He he makes sure that he involved me in some of the conversations and everything, but never forced me to anything. When I was quiet and everything, he'd say, "Oh, what do you think, Joe?" and everything. And slowly, I did build a bit of trust and relationship with Danny B, and Clinton next to me and everything. And it was not till probably program 4 where I did feel more comfortable, and I started to appear and being me. And also was the program that the scooter challenge. I don't know if you've seen the scooter challenge that I nearly fall onto the floor. But that for me also was the what I call the Susan Boyle moment, because until then I don't think the producers expecting me to go through. I feel I spoke with the producers. I think you know about equality and diversity.
Yeah.
I think they needed to tick a box to have somebody with autism, to have somebody over 50, and I think I was that person. I don't think they expected anything from me, and they I think they thought that I will be out by program 1 or 2. I
And hey,
also
didn't
thought
you
that.
prove them wrong?
I know I proved them wrong, but because not the thing is, not everybody have a microphone, and I never have the microphone for the first 3 programs, and but I had an advantage. The advantage of not sharing the first 3 program is that the team challenge were absolutely devastating for everybody. But what happened? I'm a nurse, and I work well under pressure, and I work well on a team. I'm not like to overpower or anything. And there was a lot of personalities that I think they were the ones who the producers hoping to go to the finals, but all on the first 3 programs, 30 of the biggest personalities went out like that
Yeah.
because they couldn't work on a team, because they were all shouting to each other and everything. That meant that when all these um, um, high, loud people went, and there were a lot, 50 or 60 people left, I felt a lot better. I, I felt more comfortable because one of the things that people I like to understand, for me, going to sleep in a hotel is also a massive change. It's also a massive change that for the first night probably I didn't sleep at all, and different environment, and also it was on my own. I normally have my partner, and change of the environment is also a thing that it can have an impact on my energy and things. But day 4 I was fine, and it was that point I was on the scooter, and I nearly went out, and they gave me a microphone. What they didn't know is that I'm media trained. As my role of nurse, I've done a lot of talks, and I'm quite comfortable with a microphone. Not because it comes naturally, but because I had a lot of training, and part of my role as a nurse, I had nearly 30 years. I needed to talk to people,
Yeah.
and if you put me a microphone, I can be quite good. And I heard that when they interviewed me, because I was the final 2, I shared the camera, told to the producer, say, "Wow, Joe can talk," and I say, "Bob, that's fine." And from that program on, then I was more confident until I ended up, as you see, um, you know, being one of the main characters, and producing one. I think one of them was the more nerve-wracking moments, like the boxes, and then with the hair. I don't know. I I started having fun, and I think that what I wanted also to tell people, that at the
Yeah.
beginning I may have a bit of disadvantage because of my social anxiety, but thanks to some of my qualities, that I had quite a lot of qualities, my hyper focus, to be able um, to rem- uh, to work change, and quick thinking and thinking outside the box, that also allowed me to go through, and that's what I went to 99 to be, and to do. And I think I wanted also to make the community proud, and to try to inspire some of the autistic people community, that we are uh, fed up of society telling us that we cannot do things. And I wanted to
Yeah.
show anybody at home, who have been told you're not going to be able to do it, that you can give it a go. It may not succeed, but there's nothing stopping you to give it a go at everything you want to do in life. And that was my message, and hopefully that went through
Yeah.
to people.
I love that, and it definitely did show. And like you said, there were so many boisterous and loud characters in the show, but actually you were the one that got to the final. So it
Yeah,
shows in your character that how well you really did. Um, so if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a bit about
no,
just like your life in general
yeah,
as
yeah,
an autistic person. So I don't know when you were diagnosed as autistic, but
yeah,
perhaps maybe you could speak a bit about your life growing up, especially in a
yeah,
different country, what that was like for you.
yeah. I'm 50. Obviously, everybody knows say that since the program I reached the milestone of 50. But I only been diagnosed since 4 years ago. I
Wow.
mean, it's been a journey. I was born in Spain, and I was always the odd one at the school. I could never sit still for more than 5 minutes. Anything distracted me. Uh, some of the teachers have quite a lot of patience, but I was a bit of a rebel also, and I didn't see the point. The education that they were giving me, especially when I went to secondary school, was to learn, memorize a lot of data, and then vomit it onto the exam. And that don't work for me, because if you want me to learn something, I need to know why, and I need to establish a link with that. When I establish that link and I know why, believe me, I can excel about anything. But I didn't see the purpose of the school. That means that I didn't do very well. I was spending a lot of time in detention, and even the headmasters, when you are 15 and they tell you, oh, they call it to plan for the futures and what your son wants to be and everything. I still remember that conversation with the headmasters, my mom and dad, and myself. And the headmaster told my mom and dad, um, don't bother with your son. He will never achieve anything.
Wow.
That sentence marked the rest of my life. I was there. My mom and dad never looked at me. And instead of looking at me and say, okay, what we can do to help you or something, then took me straight away to a psychologist, a child psychologist, to find out what was wrong with me. And I spent a lot of my time, a lot of my youth, thinking that there was something wrong with me, thinking that I needed to change something because society was telling me that I didn't fit the standards of the society, and that caused me a lot of trauma. Um, because I only realized um, a few years ago that there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to be fixing. Just that I'm a bit different, but there's nothing wrong, and I'm good as I am. But my journey carry on, because since the moment that my head teacher told me that I will not achieve anything, my mission, number one mission in my life, was to prove that teacher wrong. And I spent a lot of energy on trying to prove my teacher wrong. I went to work on a fast food industry. I became the employee of the month. Then I went
Wow.
to work on a delivery company, and I became the fastest delivery driver. Then I moved to nursing, and that also transformed a bit um, my perspective of education, because I love what I was teaching, and I went from barely passing any subjects at school to have A plus. I never
Mm.
had an A plus before, and it's not because I was not capable before. It's because the subject for me was very stimulating, and I was a lot very curious, and the teachers, and also nursing was a lot of hands-on. I learn visualizing. My way to learning is visualizing. Don't give me a book with 20,000 pages. I'd rather do things. I do things and look at other things, and that's how I learn. And nursing is a lot of hands-on and a lot of things. And I also want to take to say that, to change the misconception. Society think that we don't have empathy. Nurses, autistic people probably are the people with most empathy in the society. And I realize now that I've been involved, that um, in nursing, there's a lot of neurodiverse people for that reason, because I have a very strong of social justice, and when something is wrong, I need to do it and everything, and that's part of the theme of my work. But then I moved to, obviously I couldn't find a job in Spain, because Spain was very badly, and the job market of nurses and everything. And I ended up, as I say, as a delivery pizzas. I became the best delivery pizzas in Barcelona, my city, and but I wanted to be a nurse, and then I saw uh, an advert on a newspaper say, come to England, and I said, well, why not? I was 25. I had no responsibilities. I said, well, what the worst can happen? I go for a year, and then I'll come back and I'll have some experience. and that's what I did. I landed in Luton Airport, bonfire night year 2000. I still remember the date because from Luton Airport to Sheffield is around 3 hours drive in a minibus. The fireworks on the sky were amazing. I
Wow.
didn't know it was bonfires, and I thought, "Wow, what a reception!" If, and they know I'm coming.
Yeah,
Here I'm
just for
come.
you.
The problem is um, the troubles. I started having troubles also with some of my managers in the NHS. And for the first 10 years, I you know I tried. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do to change. Patient-centered care, I couldn't do that and everything. And I was challenging a lot of my managers to different things. That didn't go down well with my managers, and often they invited me to leave. I mean, there was a pattern that every 2 or 3 years I was asked to leave to another job. And at some point, um, some of my managers, one of the managers, um, by no reason, um, put a complaint against me, and I ended up being dismissed. That
Oh.
was year 2010. I ended up being dismissed, and I didn't know what to do. Do I go back to Spain? At that point, also, um, I was exhausted for all the masking and everything because that takes a lot of energy. My marriage also was falling apart, and I ended up on my own on a flat in Sheffield. I remember that, um, just thinking what I do with my life, 2010. But for some fate or reason, got um, I got offered a position as a community nurse, and that also transformed my life. Community nurse, I had the freedom, and also my manager um, was very good, and I didn't know at that point, but my manager basically say, "This is what you need to do, Joe. Hope you go." And that's how I work. I don't like to be micromanaged. This is
Yeah.
what you need to do, and then I do the things. From them, I I start my career progression, and that's also at that point I had a son who's Luke, who they is also having struggles at school, and they thought that he maybe had ADHD and autism. And we went through all the process of diagnosis and everything, and at the end they got diagnosis with ADHD and autism, and that's when my ex-wife say, "Look, if our son have autism, you have also autism," and the penny dropped because for nearly 35 years I was looking what was wrong with me. Since
Yeah.
I realized nothing wrong with me, I may be autistic, but they never thought, doctors who saw me, psychologists, psychiatrists, never thought that I fit on the autism, and I never thought that I fit on the autism because my idea of being autistic, it was the lower scale of the
And I
that.
think also for a long time it
Yeah,
wasn't really known about or
no,
talked about, so it wasn't really
no,
understood. Yeah.
but then the penny drop, and then I need to be honest, I was devastated that they put me level autistic, because the stigma that I also had on my head, and the things, and it took me a long time to learn, because then I started learning curiosity and everything, but then all the pieces starting to fit. Why I was having meltdowns, why my sense of justice, and then I started learning techniques and how to, how to control what triggers my anxiety and everything. And that's how, at the same time, by knowing more and having the diagnosis, then I started to have less troubles at work and start flourishing. And I went from being sacked in 2012 I won the best uh, uh, um, nurse of the year in Britain in
Wow,
2006 and
that's
18.
amazing.
I mean, I did a lot of transformation. I got passion for transforming systems. I did a lot of work on sepsis. I did a lot of flu, and that I thrive. But also at the same time, I started the battle with my GP, because my GP, I went to my GP, and I say, "Well, I think I'm autistic. I would like to be able to get a diagnosis." My GP refused. They say, why you want a diagnosis? You are an adult, you already have a job, you have a family, and say, but I would like to have access to diagnosis because
Mm.
I may think I'm autistic, but I would like somebody, an expert to, to compare me because I don't want to have an imposter syndrome. And I say, I couldn't do anything else, refused, but it took me another three times and 5, 6, 7 years to convince finally that my GP to to send me to diagnosis. In meantime, also I have a couple of mental health crises. In 2018, I was diagnosed with depression, but knowing what I know now, I don't think it was depression. I think it was something that a lot of autistics suffer, that is burnout, autistic burnout, because I was doing a lot of projects at that point, and and sometimes you want to carry on and everything, but
Mm.
I run out of energy, and I think that what happened. I went back to them, and then the doctor he gave me antidepressives, uh, uh, and that I last for I think a couple of months, and and then I had an agreement with the doctor, say, as soon as you stop the antidepressives, we can have a conversation about sending you to occupational to the diagnosis or not. In the meantime, when I was also off sick 2 3 months with that, I went to my manager and say, I need I think I have burnout. I need some reasonable adjustments. And then my manager sent me to occupational health. Occupational health told me that the doctor told me that unless I have a diagnosis, I won't be able to
Wow.
do anything for me. There was a bit of catch 22. Things have changed now. I've moved on, but that was 2019. Then that gave me um, an aim to try to get better and stop my antidepressive, because say my doctor say, as soon as you get off the antidepressives, I'll refer you. Then after 2 months, I stopped my antidepressant. I also start doing some running and other things. And then I had this conversation and I said, look, now I had two mental health crises. You still refuse me. I think if you refer me to the service and I give the diagnosis, I will be able to access a lot of help like I have now. And finally, she managed to refer me. But that was
Mm.
2019. And guess what happened in 2019? um,
You were
COVID
diagnosed.
came. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I wasn't
COVID.
diagnosed. Um, COVID came, and that means that they're normally around 12 months of waiting. Everything was stopped. I mean,
Oh,
finally, I reached the top of the queue in 2000 and beginning of 2023. I mean, it's only two and
wow.
a half years, really. I went to the assessment. I was assessed, and yeah, they told me that definitely you have autism, and I have my diagnosis in here and everything. That also changed my life because from um, I I then I could tell everybody that I was autistic, because until then I didn't want to tell anybody just in case if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because of my job is all about relationships and building. For me, being honest is one of the values that I have, and I couldn't 100% be sure that I'm autistic or not. With that diagnosis, also, um, uh, I managed to um, know about reasonable adjustments, because then that is a question that a lot of people ask me. Um, will I get my diagnosis? I always say yes, because with the diagnosis, you can access to a lot of help, and that's what I did. And now I have an autism coach. I had some checking. I have a therapist that from once a month we check in about my mental health, because I realized also my journey that I neglected a lot of my mental health, and being autistic and everything is linked. Not I don't think it's because we are more susceptible to have mental health crises is because we live in a society that they're not allowed to be ourselves, and by masking that also create a lot of pressure,
Mm.
and that's I think is that the society who disabled us, we are not disabled, and that has been my journey. And At the same time, I decided that I wanted to help youngsters, like I was, and I left nursing a bit, but I still work in healthcare. I work for NHS England now, helping youngsters between 16 and 25 who have learning disabilities or autism to get work skills and to introduce them into the NHS. And for a year, I mentor them, and at the end, most of them they get works in the NHS, and for me, it's very
Wow.
very rewarding. And that's how also I have learned a lot more about autism. I have learned about also the mindset that a lot of us arrive when we are teenagers. The first thing we believe that we're not capable of doing a lot of things, and I spend a lot of energy now trying to change this mindset, but also trying to change the NHS and being a bit more neurodiverse um, friendly, and to allow these people to have a safe space to try things, because we are no different from other people.
Mm.
We unless we try, we don't know if you're gonna succeed or not. And allow to fail, because by failing we learn. But we probably want we are a fantastic asset. That's why I always say NHS England have 1 million vacancies, or I don't know, a lot of vacancies. Why not make small adjustments and have a look at these fantastic youngsters? Because statistics are against us. I think autistic people like myself is only around 20% of us who have employment. With people with learning disabilities, is even worse.
Yeah.
Could it be wonderful if all these vacancies of all these positions can be filled by people who can be fantastic um, co-workers and colleagues,
Yeah.
only if we change very small things in
And
our workplace.
and like you said earlier, there's so many strengths that autistic people
Yeah,
can bring to things, such as like being able to hyper focus on things
yeah,
or working well with other people. Like there's so many things that actually seeing the smaller details in things like can be
yeah.
really positive.
You know, they also have challenges, but like everybody else, I say, Bo, what I want to achieve in my life is I want to stop the people focusing on my struggles. I, I want the people to, when I disclose I'm autistic, I want the people to stop thinking, um, what's wrong with you? There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with me. I just want, I do have struggles, but I compensate a lot with my fantastic uh, traits that I'm very good at. The same as other people. People that they're neurotypical also, they have they struggle with some things, but they're very good at other things. I mean, as a team, if you the more diverse is a team, the better. We're very good always to coming up with new ways. We were very creative. Our creativity, because our mind. I was telling somebody, our mind is always on. The switch off button don't exist.
Yeah.
I wish that, people say, "Oh, why don't you meditation?" I cannot do meditation at all because my brain is always bouncing ideas from one to
I
time.
find it. Yeah.
We have 100 ideas every hour. 99 probably are rubbish, but one of them can be good. If you let us explore these ideas, we often come up with solutions that nobody thought about it.
Mm.
It's just I always say society needs to give us a chance, and the things are changing. We are Society is getting more neurodiverse aware, but and we're getting there. But there's still a lot of stigma attached to that, and also there's a lot of people probably you are aware of my generation that they probably neurodiverse, but they don't know. And I'm also trying to reach these people, and I'm trying to reach managers to instead of leaving us as the troublemakers, as the odd people, maybe to think, can they be neurodiverse? Can I have a different conversation? How can I support them better? Can maybe dyslexic, or maybe dyscalculia, or maybe
Yeah.
ADHD? Maybe start the conversation from a negative point of view to a more neutral, to see if we can explore, and that will also help. For me, one of my passions is the retention of nurses. We have a big problem in the NHS from nurses leaving, but nobody knows if they're neurodiverse or not. I'm very passionate, and I'm trying to change the way they collect the statistics, because one of the things I've been fighting, and they finally changed, is they're very good at demographic. For example, did you know that in the NHS, when you every year they send a questionnaires, and you have 18 choices to say what color of skin you have.
Mm.
You have 7 or 8 choices about your sexuality. You have like 25 different choices about your religion. Do you know how many choices about for disability? None.
No. Wow.
None. They only say, do you consider yourself disabled or not? If you ask me this question, I would say, no, I'm not considering myself
Yeah.
disabled. But that's it. I want to change that to say, to something that say, do you have autism? Do you have dyslexia? Do you have, the most common things? And then we we can start collecting data, and then we could see the impact, the truly impact of of how many of us are living because of burnout, how many are alive, and then we can start having proper conversations about what we can do to support these people better. That's my job I'm doing now.
That's
I'm trying to
amazing.
make a more society, a more inclusive.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help support that, then just say,
Well,
because I think
by
the
having
work
me
that you're
today,
doing is
you're
amazing.
helping.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that. I also want to talk a little bit about your book, which you mentioned earlier.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so you wrote a book a few years
I wrote a
back.
book.
Oh,
It's
amazing.
it's called Destiny and Hope. I all have here, but I
So,
want to write it again.
oh yeah,
I
how
want to write
come?
it again because I bought that book in 2018. I still not, I didn't have the diagnosis by then. And when I was doing, my editor um, told me not to put anything about autism. And I regret that now with my
Yeah,
hindsight, because the whole thread of my actions and why I did a lot of the things that I explain in a book, I can attribute them to some of my sense of social justice. And some of the times I get in trouble is because I think that I need to do something. When I see something wrong, I cannot just sit down and everything. And I don't mention anything about autism in all book. I, the book I do like it's about my experience from leaving Spain and my experience in the NHS as a nurse. And I will like I'm thinking about maybe rewriting and also include a chapter about 99 to beat, but from a more autistic point of view, because at that point also, when I was writing the book, I was going on to a journey from removing the stigma about myself to feel a bit of a shame of being autistic to finally now being proud of being autistic. I mean,
yeah.
now I 5 years later, I think the book needs to be a celebration of my autism, and it is not. That's my only regret. But the book is available in Amazon if anybody wants to buy it. All the proceeds go to charities, to Cabell Trust, and
Amazing.
also to another charity that help families that they have lost any healthcare worker due COVID. I mean, I don't get any profits because my motivation is not money.
Wow.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be a nurse. Yeah, because everybody know that they were not very well paid. My motivation is to make a difference, and that's the theme also that I want to make. And yeah, and to prove all the headmasters on that school or every school that please do not write off anybody, because everybody have talent.
Yeah,
Just because the system not allowed us to show the talent doesn't mean we don't have any. On the right environment, we can flourish. It's like Einstein say, if you ask a fish to climb a tree, it will be awful. But if you put in the water, it will be achieve everything. I mean, we we need society to understand that we can flourish, because it's the same. If you're a gardener, if you try to put every flower on the same pot and on the same soil, some flowers will grow, some will not. You need to make sure that for every flower you have the right soil, the right watering. Not everybody needs water every day. I mean, that's why society needs to look that if somebody is not flourishing, you don't discard it. You change the soil, you change the environment, and put the right environment for them to be able to grow. And
that's
that's what I
such a
want
great
to. That's what I'm
analogy.
doing. Yeah.
I've never thought of it like that before, but it explains it so well.
Yeah, that's I like this metaphor. I'm very visual. I mean, I like to see things, and
Hmm.
yeah, and
Ah,
society is like a garden. You need to treat different individual like a different flower to be able to flourish, and be proud of each of us differently.
Yeah.
Each one differently. Don't try to all make us all fix on a system, because then you broke a society who ended up broken, not because we are broken initially. And one thing is, I always say to people, don't try to fix me, because I don't need fixing. I just need acceptance.
Mm.
And sometimes I may need some extra time, sometimes some time alone. But if you ask me, I will tell you what I need. Then don't presume. Also, don't presume because you know somebody autistic or somebody
Yeah.
with ADHD will be the same as the other. It's like patient-centered care. Every patient is different. The best thing you can do, if you say, "Oh, I want to help you, Holly, or I want to help you, Joe," don't assume anything. Have a conversation. Say, "Holly, how can I help you? Um, you know, how can I how can I see if you have suddenly you're stressed? What are your signs? What can I put you in place for you not to declare all the time that you're anxiety, but what can I, do you like to wear music, or you go for a walk, and allow this space with for us not to be to justify every reaction that we do.
Yeah.
We're a bit different, and but you know, embrace difference. I think we're amazing anyway.
That's such a good and a powerful message. And honestly, from what you've told me, you should just be so proud of everything you've achieved. And you definitely proved all those teachers wrong that told you you would never amount to anything. Like, look, like, just listen to yourself and what you've done. Like, it's amazing. And I really hope that life continues to allow you to do these things.
Yeah,
So,
and but the main reason I did it is because I wanted to inspire my son, because my son also was devastated when he got the diagnosis, and he went to a crisis when he was 15. He rebelled. He became overwhelmed, and he was quite aggressive towards society. He got into trouble at the school and everything. And I say, I don't know what can I do to support him. And I said, well, why don't we have this journey together? And then that's why I started journeying with him. And I think it's helped him, but also it helped me a lot. Going through that journey, it made me see him in a different way, and not to judge him when he's reacting the way he reacts, not to suddenly put a label and punish him, is to try to understand, okay, why you're acting like that. Can we do something on what's the real cause? Because some of our manifestations of anxiety and other things can be misinterpreted as
mm,
being disruptive and everything. Just instead of judging us, sit down with us and have a conversation with us, because you will be surprised, and that I say we we are different, but we in a good way. Also, we can add a lot of value to society.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time
No,
to
thank
chat
you.
to me today. It's been absolutely amazing. Do you have anywhere online that people can find you? If because I know you make videos, is that right for YouTube
Yeah.
things?
I'm roaring nose on social media. Like a tiger roaring nose and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I have also a website that I put things, and it's www.roaringnose.com. You can see a lot of the things I do. I'm trying to also, I'm creating, with Jason, the donkey chef from 99 to Beat. I'm we're putting together another reverse version and try to explain to the society what's been on a TV show feels from artistic
Amazing.
point of view and from ADHD. We recorded 3 episodes, but um, it takes sometimes to do things takes longer. But we will be the 8 episodes, and we talk about a lot of things about from the nervous point of view. It's on my website also, but it's a lot of things. And yeah, if people want to follow me, I'm
Yeah.
Roaring Nose on social media.
I'll leave the links in the description of this
Yeah,
video
yeah, yeah.
for everyone.
Okay, okay.
So thank you so much.
No, thank you.
It was lovely to meet you and to chat with you.
Lovely to see you.
Thanks,
Okay,
Joanne.
thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh my goodness, that was such an awesome time to sit down and chat with Joanne. I just think He is absolutely amazing. All the times that people have told him that he would not amount to anything, and look what he has accomplished. I'm so happy that he came and chatted to me, and he's such a lovely person. Go and follow him on Instagram, and I'll put a link in the description down below to his website where you can find that. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications every time I upload a new video, and I'll see you next week.